Hi, this is Lear from 13 Cards, Subject to Change. Doing a new thing. 13 questions with friends. And, well, as some people do know, if you have been to a few shows with us, that's my better half, Kathy. We're doing 13 questions, give or take, because, we always do that. That's how we started. Me and Zach started doing an interview with JDX. We said, how are we going to name ourselves? 13 cards. We had 13 questions, subject to change. And it does change because, we don't always answer the questions. And that first one with Darren, it was kind of painful. I'm going to get him on here and I'm going to ask him questions. We're doing this just for fun. One thing, Kathy, how long have you, throw one question here. How long have you watched wrestling before with me the last 2 years? What age? You got to get close to the mic too so they can hear you.
I would have to say probably about 7.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And if you do remember from back then, because, sometimes when you're that young, you don't remember. Do you remember one of your favorite wrestlers of the time back then that you always loved seeing on TV?
You know that answer.
No, I know what it is now, but I want to know what it was when you were younger, if you had one.
John Cena. He was wrestling at that time.
Was he? Oh, yeah. He was, because I forget. She's a little bit younger than me, and I forget, like, when I was 7, it was when WWE was not that much, and Hogan was getting big. Yeah, I'm feeling age now.
I'm sorry.
She's still a fan of John Cena, but she's kind of moved on to a couple different ones. Here's a good fight. Did you have any of the toys or anything back then, or you just not at all?
I would say, yeah, I had Hulk Hogan, of course, and The Rock.
Oh, at action figures?
Yeah.
Back then, as people say, they're dolls. No, they're not dolls. They're action figures because you do actions with them.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's see, you did kind of follow. About what age did you kind of stop watching wrestling?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. Probably in my mid-teens, I would say.
Mid-teens. And that was, let's see here. Oh, the year you're born, you were 7. It was in early years of John Cena. Because he's been doing it for 20 years. So, yeah, that was in the shit. And I can say that. Yeah. I can say anything I want. That had to be in the early, like, 2012? No, before that. Just out of the early 2000s, you were probably watching it.
Yep.
Because whatever the year you were born, boom, I don't remember offhand. I can be like that. I forget things. I've been known for as Jesse.
Well, you remember how old I'm going to be.
Yes, I know how old you're going to be. You're going to be something with a 6 on it. I'm not going to say the first digit.
Why not?
I don't know. You're going to be 36.
Okay. So then.
And I need Eben here to do my math.
I know.
So, yeah, it was in the 2000s when her teenage years when she was out of the wrestling. And then a couple years ago, she found me or I found her again, found each other, and started getting back into wrestling because, hey, I was doing this podcast. So I did get her in there. And let's see here. I'll tell everybody. I remember what your first show was. Tell everybody your first show that you did.
In the last few years, it was...
No, our first show that I brought you to.
Monday Night Raw.
And what was so significant about that Monday Night Raw?
We were so close to them entering and exiting that we could pretty much touch them.
But there was another significant thing that somebody that was with us started doing that night that we always talk about. What was that? Was that Jesse?
Yeah.
And what would he do? What did he do to pour Dom. Do you remember what he got the chant to? Yes, as we always like to refer as Jesse. Jesse started the booing of Dom and Mysterio in Minneapolis on a Monday Night Raw because, as you know, Jesse, my brother from another mother, is not very quiet when he's at wrestling shows, and that's why it's more fun that way. I just love it. So, you've been to a few independent shows, MEW mostly, DPW. We've been to Below Zero. I think that's about it. You weren't at the Two Harbor show with me that other year because I
No.
just brought the kids, and that was a lot of fun. Out of the local shows and the smaller venues, not the guys on TV,
Yeah.
guys and gals on TV, I'm going to refer to that because who is your favorite local independent wrestlers that you've seen? You know, you can name one or two. It's fine.
Well, for the men, Rampage, System.
Even though you are mad at him.
Oh yes, and he will hear it when I see him next.
But he still likes the System.
Yep. But I'm
Good old
still
boy
mad at him.
from the Iron Range here in Minnesota. Okay, yes, Rampage and the System. And
then, of course, Sierra. She will always be one of my favorites.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. You should get that.
No.
Yeah, well, you can adjust it. No, you just we can still see most of your face. That's good.
Well,
So-
maybe I'm hiding it.
I know. We're gonna do another one again. This is. Hey, you're fine. You just do that. Jesse messes with it all the time. That's why you gotta have. He eats food and he spits on it, and I have to clean it all the time. That is the fun of working with two other guys. It's just
You poor thing, you.
I know. All right, so we did who you grew up and who you liked watching. Now, I'm going to ask you, modern time. Who are your favorite wrestlers, male or female? You can do both, or you can just do one. If somebody saw live with us, you know exactly who she's going to say, who is her favorite right now, and how she reacts. You can see she's going to lose it.
Maybe if I can even tell you.
All right. Everybody wants to know who.
Well, of course, Randy Orton is my number one right now. Then I would have to say Cody Rhodes and there's a few other, but Roman, even though he's not fighting right now, but yeah.
He is on some time off, much needed to recover from his leukemia and all this stuff, and also to honor his father. One of the guys I grew up in, my heroes growing up there, is passed. They just had a funeral for him just the other day. On this recording, I'm just after the 4th of July. They just did that great ceremony and everything. Awesome, like traditional, I think, regular, and then they did some, I think, Samoan heritage stuff with that, which is cool as hell. So, all right. I don't even know how many questions I got so far, but hey, we're doing good. All right. Now, out of all the shows you have been that I've brought you to, and we've gone to a few, we've done a Raw, we've done quite a few MAW shows, we've done DPW, God, we're on like 6 of them coming up. You've been to at least 4 or 5 of them, I believe, I think 3 or 4 of them.
Something like that.
Like that. So out of all the shows you get, all the shows that I brought you to, do you have a favorite out of all of them?
I would have to say my first DPW show. It was the first time, and I helped you with an interview. That show, and it was the first time I realized one of my really good friends from school, Ringo, was wrestling, and like I grew up with her, and it was just awesome to see her. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a great interview I had with Ringo and Arlen, both from the good old Northland, because we love these people. And unfortunately, as we know, Ringo unfortunately had an illness, and they found out she can't wrestle because of medical reasons, which really sucks. But she's trying to do other stuff to help out with the wrestling world. All right. Now let's see. Do I have more questions for you?
I don't know, do you?
Oh, maybe I will. All right.
I'm waiting.
Besides meeting Randy Orton, if it is possible that we go down to SummerSlam in 2026, to be on Minneapolis 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
is there anybody besides him and the people that you mentioned that you like would want to meet?
Yeah, Rhea.
Rhea?
I would want to meet Rhea.
That would be a lot of fun. I do agree with you.
Honestly, like I actually just thought about that when you brought up that question because I wanted to mention her too because I absolutely love her.
She is a badass.
Mhm.
She is a badass. And I'll say what, and then this will be my last one for you.
Okay.
And you can always ask it to anybody, is honestly, what makes you want to watch wrestling and want to work at the shows and do stuff like that, like I do? Just what piqued your interest about doing all that stuff?
Well, of course, Monday Night Raw and being spoiled and getting to go to that and
Yes.
experiencing that and just seeing your reaction at that show, like it made me actually want to pay attention and learn the storylines and watch it and get super excited and be just as goofy as you when certain people come out.
You get a little more goofy about certain people that come out than I do.
Oh, sometimes.
I know.
Sometimes it all depends on who comes out on your reaction. You
Well,
know this.
that's true. And you weren't here when Jordan Grace showed up on
I
TV.
know.
And yeah, you would have been laughing at me in that because that was bad, but it
But
was
if you
fun.
remember correctly, I was talking to you on the phone when she showed up.
Yes. Oh, well, all right. That is my first shot at this. I'm gonna probably edit the video a little bit because this background is really fun because you see her name and then boom, she disappears, and then half you see the background, stuff like that. Yeah. So I gotta start this to get it for free because you see that lovely Steam yard and you just see my logo on the bottom there. I don't know. I'll have this up on Patreon. I'll have this on YouTube, something like that. We're going to try it again. I'm going to get it, pay for it, make Jesse pay for it, make the company pay for it. Then I'll have 2 cameras. I'm going to get my kid. I'm going to try to get other fans, other wrestlers, talk about this and talk about maybe possibly something else. I'll bring it up another time. So thank you, Kathy, for doing this with me and trying it out.
You're welcome.
And maybe we'll do it again at a different time and talk about other stuff. So thank you very
Maybe.
much, and hope you like this and keep listening. And if you have anything, suggestions, or if you want to do this with me, shoot me a line on our email there or on Facebook, 13 cards subject to change. Thank you.